Hello and welcome. In this tutorial I will be showing you how to use the terminal on Mac and Linux or OS X and many versions of Linux. They're all very similar. It will not work on Windows though. So to get started, I'll show you where for most people your terminal is. So if you go to the screen with the launcher, click on the other kind of folder, you have your terminal right there. Another way of doing it is going to applications and clicking on utilities, and it's right there. I have it in my dock and I already have it open, so when you open it, it's going to come to this screen, and on the left you'll see it has like the user or the computer name, the path where you are, and the username. So that's the basics of what you begin with in the terminal. Over here on the left I have add rmdir open with some notes and some terminal commands. I will post this into the description of the video. And there are a lot of other guides online, text guides, so I'll just be kind of following those. This is kind of compiled using those, but the main thing about this video is me actually showing you and talking about it. So the first thing you're going to want to do typically is cd, and cd means change directory. And if you can imagine, well, I'll show you. If you can look at this, if I click on desktop, I just cd'd from applications to desktop. And if I double click on my test folder, I cd change directory into test. I go back and I'm changing directory back to the previous directory, and so on and so. Every time I do switch directories, I'm changing directories, and what the operating system is doing is changing the directory, running these commands for you, so people don't have to memorize these commands themselves, which makes it more user-friendly. But as developers or whatever you need to do on the computer, IT, network engineering, etc., you can use cd to get you the path you need and modify whatever file or config thing you need to do. So we'll start cd desktop. Now you can see that right here it changed from that squiggly tilde sign to desktop. cd // will take me back. Now I'm back to this right there. I can type in cd desktop /test, and that's going to take me to that folder on the desktop. So now I'm at test. cd // go back to desktop. That's back to like the home directory. I'll do that again. If you hit the up arrow, it remembers your last command. So I hit the up arrow a few times. I can go back to the test, and I'll show you this command, which will take you to the home directory instead of running // twice. So cd squiggly line. That's located just below the escape key on the top left of your keyboard. So cd, that squiggly line, then hit enter. Now I'm back to the home directory. I'm going to go back up to test. Do cd /. This slash is right by the shift key on the bottom right of your keyboard. It'll take you to the root directory of the drive. So it should be like, let me see. Yeah, so it has all of these folders on it right here. No, this is even further. This is the actual root directory of the drive. So you could really do some damage if you delete the wrong thing over here. So let's get out of there. So I did run a command right there that I haven't gone over yet. ls means list, and it's basically listing the contents of a directory. So going back to the file explorer, when I click on applications, it'll go cd applications, and I'll type in ls to list all of the applications and files within that directory. So I go back to desktop, cd, what the operating system is going to do is run cd desktop and then ls within the desktop, and it'll give me all my files and folders on that directory. So let's do the same thing. So cd desktop ls. Now I have all the files and folders on my desktop within that desktop directory. So phaser folder is right here. Test.txt, test2.txt, typing.numbers. So there's all the stuff on the desktop, and it's pretty basic. ls can give you a lot more information than that. So ls -l is long list. It gives you the like the ownership of the file. So right here you have if the owner can read, write, execute the file, if the user group can read, write, execute, or if other people can read, write, execute, or anyone. So it's telling you the permissions of the file. And the first D tells you if it's a directory or not. So this right here is not a directory. A PDF is not a directory, but all of these are directories. They're all folders that you can CD into. And then these are not directories. So you have your permissions and directories. I'm not sure what that is, or that. Then you have the creator, the user group, file size, created on, and then the file name and extension. There's more LSA. This is ls are listing, but you're including the hidden files. So the DS store, you don't see that on the desktop. Localized, you don't see that on the desktop. This is stuff for the operating system to run properly, and hidden files that kind of you don't really want to delete them. You can combine both of those as well. So AL, it'll be all the files, even the ones that are hidden, but you have the directory, the permissions, and everything else with it too. LS, LH, it's going to tell you the sizes that you can actually read. So like this one is 423 kilobytes, 102 bytes, etc., etc. So I guess if you're cleaning out your computer, you can quickly modify that. Then let's go into test ls. Oh, it's in there. So ls-r, same thing. Let's go back. ls-r should be everything in every folder on the desktop. So it's a whole lot of stuff. Next is pwd, and that's just telling you the working directory. So you can see the desktop right there, but it gives you from the root folder how to get here. So if you type in cd home and cd copy and paste that, you go back to the desktop. So this is an absolute URL or path where it's from a certain way. cd // would be a relative one, because it's relative where you go back one, but you go to a directory based on where you are relative to your position. Let's go back to the desktop so you can see the next command being executed. So make directory mkdir. It'll create a folder directory based on whatever folder name you give it. So make directory test2 or test1. I already have test right there. Let's make it test2. And you'll see, I think it might pop up right here, new folder. There it is. And it's an empty folder, nothing in it. You can do that back over here, cd test2, ls, nothing in there. Then you can remove that directory with rmdir. So let's clear that. That's another one I didn't go over. Let me add that right now. Clear. Clears the screen. Determine screen. So it'll clear it, but you could always scroll up and see everything. So then rmdir for remove directory will remove a directory whatever you give it. So if I remove test2, you'll see it disappear right here. Now it's gone. If I type in rm in the file name, this is the next command right here on line 23, it removes the file. So if I type in rm test.txt, that file's gone. Rm test.test2.txt, that file's gone. So I have this folder here with test 3 and test 4. You could also do rm remove rf, recursively enforce it out test. So now everything within that file folder is gone, and we're forcing it to delete. So there's no going back after that, and within the test folder. So that was a quick overview of the terminal command. I'm going to add some more right here. So Python So I'm going to do two more commands that most beginners would use if you're learning software development. So Python and Node commands. So this requires you to have Python installed and Node installed. Until now, everything else is built into the terminal. So Node -v will tell you your version of Node installed. But if I make a quick file, so I made a quick folder or a file called test.js that prints out hello, and it's a JS, and you can't run JavaScript unless you have Node installed on your computer, or you run it within the browser. So I'm going to run it with Node, so node test.js. So just Node and then the file name or path name. And it prints out hello because that's what I programmed it to do. I can go back to the home directory and type in node desktop/test.js. and it'll still work. So the first way was just the file name, the second way was the path to that file. And it's all relative, or you could do the whole absolute path from the root directory. Let's do the same thing again with Python. It's very, very similar. Hello, Python. The Python desktop/test.py can open. Oh, I saved it to this directory, I think. ls. There it is, test.py. Python test.py.